Hi there, folks. Welcome to the podcast. This, of course, is Stinchfield. Folks, Kamala's Katrina is underway in the southeast United States, specifically in North Carolina, that is probably hit hardest from this Hurricane Helene. The mainstream media is ignoring this story. It is outrageous to me that I'm on the front page of even Fox News, and I don't see anyone covering this in depth. The failures at a federal level of the response to this hurricane is atrocious. When you look at what the mainstream media did to George Bush during Hurricane Katrina and the devastation that happened there, we now have 202 people dead, half of which happened in North Carolina. And oh, go figure, all the states that are affected the most happen to be red states. Then we learn that FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, is out of money. Why are they out of money? There have been hundreds of millions of dollars spent on illegal aliens, and Kamala Harris comes out and she says Americans in the Southeast are going to get $750. We're sending $2.4 billion to Ukraine. That's what Joe Biden just announced. Again, this, folks, is an absolute outrage. I'm going to play you some clips of emergency responders that are volunteers, literally civilians using their own helicopters, their own boats, their own equipment, buying their own gas to go rescue people because the government is nowhere to be found. When you hear that not only does government not help them, government tries to stop them from rescuing people. These stories are most certainly outrageous. We're going to go through all of them for you. Before we do that, folks, I want to tell you about my friends over at Colonial Metals. I want you to take a look at your screen and see the website there. Our sponsor, Colonial Metals Group, has helped so many people to protect their financial future, having a self-directed IRA where you can safely store gold and silver assets that have stood the test of time. No matter what the economy, no matter what the government policies are, gold makes sense. Colonial Metals Group can create a self-directed IRA where you can have direct access to your assets, and this is very big. So if you've got an IRA, a 401k, any type of retirement account, you need to go to freegoldguide.com/Stinchfield. That's freegoldguide.com/Stinchfield. Colonial Metals, founded on the same principles that our great nation was also founded on. They are helping Americans take back control and safeguard their future, their assets that they work so hard for. Again, they have experts specializing in protecting your retirement with the most trusted store of wealth in human history. That is physical gold and silver. Go to freegoldguide.com/Stinchfield for your free Colonial Metals Group retirement protection kit created specifically for our listeners and viewers. That's freegoldguide.com/Stinchfield. Number is on your screen, 800-458-7356. Qualified applicants can receive, you ready for this? Up to $10,000 in additional silver to their account. 800-458-7356. Go there now, freegoldguide.com/Stinchfield. All right, with that, folks, I want to get the party started.
Uncensored and unapologetic. This is Stinchfield. Here's your host, Grant Stinchfield.
All right, folks, I want you to take one look at this video. If you're watching, you see it. If you're listening on the podcast, it's utter and complete devastation. And one of the hardest parts of what's going on specifically in North Carolina is you have moving water. Remember, Katrina was standing water. Very easy to make rescues on standing water. When you have moving water, it's nearly impossible to make rescues without helicopters. We are now being told that there are grounded Black Hawk helicopters from our National Guard that are not being used, while we have civilians who are out there trying to rescue people and being told they're not allowed in. Now, this is a common practice and a common theme, but I'm wondering now, when these people make the decisions not to help, and if you look at the devastation on your screen here, it is absolutely horrible. when you're not allowed in and you're what fire chief is saying you can't come in and help your fellow citizens when you need the help? Again, 202 people dead. Most of this red states affected. Billions of dollars worth of damage from this. And they're due more rain to come. So I saw this video of a gentleman who is with aerial rescue. He's a member of the Florida National Guard. The media was then reporting that the Florida National Guard helped rescue, but he's not there on behalf of the Florida National Guard. He's there on behalf of private citizens, a nonprofit called Aerial Rescue. And he says getting people out here is a nightmare. There's no help from the federal government. And it's disaster is an understatement. Let me play this clip of this gentleman for you, and we'll comment in between here. Take a listen.
I really don't want to make this video, but it is literally a matter of life and death for the people of North Carolina. So my name is Jonathan Howard. I'm a member of the Florida State Guard Special Missions Unit, and I'm also up here with Aerial Recovery, a nonprofit. I came up here on Sunday with Aerial Recovery before we even got activated. We flew up here, and then we got activated, which is great. I have my team up here working as well. Here's the problem. I'm going to tell you everything that's happening from the ground, what I'm actually seeing, because what they're telling you is complete bullshit on the news, and these politicians don't have a fucking clue, and they're lying. And I'll say this now, I'll say it at the end of the video. The only thing I need from this video is helicopters. If I have helicopters, I can save lives. Without helicopters, I can't reach these people. It doesn't matter how many chainsaws and trucks I got, I can't get to them. They're 10 miles in, 20 miles, 40 miles in the mountains. There's no way to get with them or even communicate with them. I am literally flying around in a civilian helicopter looking for SOS messages carved in the mud or painted on the ground, and we're dropping down and saving them. What got me fired up about this was yesterday, me and my team did the rescue of that 11-day-old baby. And all these government officials and social media, they're showing that video, that pictures and video of that rescue, and claiming that like they have some like government help with that. And I mean, even USA, I think it was USA Today, wrote an article about it saying it was a Florida National Guard that went and got it, like with a helicopter. No, it was me, my buddy Charlie, and a civilian named Zeb with his own personal helicopter out of Wilmington, North Carolina. Like without that civilian, that baby would be dead. And the old lady we went and rescued after that, she'd be dead too, because she had 1 day left of oxygen. No one was going to go get them. I will tell you, when we go up in the air, I probably see 40 civilian helicopters, and I might see 2 Blackhawks.
So what in the world is going on that you only see 2 Black Hawk helicopters? Where are they? Again, it took Kamala Harris and Joe Biden virtually a week to go down and get eyes on the ground. Joe Biden said he was on the phone for 2 hours. Kamala Harris, while President Trump was touring the disaster area, Kamala Harris was at a fundraiser. Now, folks, this is one of the biggest stories, natural disasters, to ever hit America. Normally, the media loves natural disasters. They cover it 24/7. I'm just not seeing it. I'm really not. And the fact that I'm not seeing it is proof to me, let's just say, that the mainstream media is covering for the Biden-Harris failures. I'm telling you, what I'm telling you is this is Kamala Harris's Katrina. And then I get this from Kamala Harris. Listen.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met.
$750? There's nothing on the shelves. Won't buy you a plane ticket out of Wilmington, Delaware. You ever try to fly into, Wilmington, North Carolina? You ever try to fly into Wilmington, North Carolina? It's a very expensive flight. $750 for a family of 4 isn't going to get you anywhere. Now, what about if you're an illegal alien? You get a credit card with $5,000 loaded into it. You get a hotel. You get put up in the best Holiday Inns, brand new ones in downtown Chicago. But if you're an American citizen in Asheville, North Carolina, not only are you hung out to dry, you are literally left for dead. with this administration, and the media is not holding them accountable. To me, it may be one of the biggest travesties of justice that there is out there right now, that the media is not holding them accountable. Here again, this gentleman, Jonathan Howard, with Aerial Rescue, talking about what he's going through.
Guard, military, whatever they are. That's it. No one's out there doing rescues. I have my entire team up here from Florida right now, and they have no ability to go rescue these people other than what they can drive to. And the people that are in dire need, they're out in the mountains. They are completely cut off. Now, I will say, I spoke to my congresswoman down in Florida, and she's a badass, and she made a bunch of phone calls, and now we got 2 contracted 60s coming up here tomorrow, which is great. I love that, but like, I still don't understand why we don't have more helicopters. Like, we'll get a lot of work done with that, but there's no military. There's no one's doing nothing. It blows my mind. And they're not even allowing people to see what's really going on. One of our friends yesterday, they were actually escorting CNN down at Lake Lure, and they wouldn't even let CNN, the sheriff department would not let them go videotape the bad areas, how destructive it is.
And that's CNN. Now, CNN has access to helicopters. They could show video of this. So does Fox News. Literally, I'm on the front page of Fox News. I had to scroll down to find any stories about this. I'm utterly flabbergasted by the lack of coverage. These are red states. These are states President Trump is going to win. Are they literally holding back aid to states like Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee? Are they holding back aid because these are red states? If that's the case, this is disgraceful. Now, I already saw an article on NPR that says conspiracy theories abound. They're basically talking about people like me for calling out Kamala Harris for the lack of leadership here, that Joe Biden's on a phone for 2 hours. He's on a beach while this is all going down. They don't show up for a week. And then I'm supposed to not believe that this is some kind of hit job against Republicans. I'm a conspiracy theorist. We're saying, hey, they're ignoring these states like I've never seen before. All right, we're going to get back to hearing more about what that gentleman needs to say. But before we do, I want to tell you about my friends over at get21now.com. How would you like to get 21% on your interest? This is possible with my friends over at NFN8. This is about Bitcoin mining. You're not going to experience the wild swings. You lock into your interest rate, okay? Depending on the deal you make with them, you can get up to 21%. That's what I get right now. I get a monthly check direct deposited into my account every month like clockwork. They have lived up to every promise they have made for me. Now I get to take part in the Bitcoin industry, but I don't have to deal with these wild swings. And I know my money is going to be there every month. It is mailbox money. Now, a lot of people are worried about crypto, and when Kamala Harris, if God forbid she was to win, well, I can tell you this, the way this deal is set up, you will not experience capital gains. You will not experience unrealized gains. You don't have to worry about Kamala Harris's potential tax structure. So it is a hedge against that. And if President Trump wins, well, guess what? He will be the crypto president. So this is another example of a great place to be. Get21now.com, up to 21% annualized interest paid out monthly. Get in touch with them. It may take them a day or two. They're very, very busy, okay? But I know them all personally, and I know they're going to give you great attention. But just if they call you or text you, call them back. I promise you, you're not going to regret it. Get21now.com. Do it today. Go visit them. Fill out the form. They'll get with you. Get21now.com. Start that mailbox money flowing, baby. All right, folks. I want to play some more of this gentleman, Jonathan Howard, because what he says is eye-opening. This is a guy on the ground trying to rescue people in North Carolina and basically being told he's not allowed to.
I don't know why they don't want to show you all that, but, I mean, it is bad. I should also say, when I flew here on Sunday, they actually stopped us from going in, the sheriff department. And it was because of a bunch of politics that they were claiming was the Speaker of the House of North Carolina that was preventing us from even going in and trying to kick us out, which I have clarified today with North Carolina politicians that reached out to me, good on them, and they were like, that's complete bullshit. Speaker of the House has nothing. He wants you guys there, but this is the kind of political BS that is happening here right now. Like, everyone's trying to be in charge without taking any type of action. Nobody wants to coordinate with anybody. Everybody wants to pretend like they're being the hero while these people are literally fucking dying in the mountains. And these people, like I'm saying, these people are limited medication. They're running out of oxygen, and there's no one going to get them. The most effective way I have found to go find these people is by getting in a helicopter and flying down the rivers and roads and looking for SOS messages or people waving us down.
Remember, folks, all of these rescues are happening in the mountains. So it's not like it's a suburb of a city. You can drive the outskirts. You can use an airboat. You can't. This is moving water, very, very dangerous. In the mountains, you've got downed trees. You can't get up the mountain passes because of the water. The only way to get there is helicopter. And these people have been abandoned by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Abandoned. That's the only way to explain it. And then you've got local law enforcement and emergency responders telling these volunteers not to go in. This is when you need to check your ego at the door. And if people are willing to risk their lives for their own fellow American citizens, people with experience like this guy who's a member of the Florida National Guard Emergency Rescue Unit, let them do what they do best. This is when Americans are at their best, when they are helping their fellow citizens. This is when I'm proud to be an American, except when I look at political leadership, as you just heard him explain.
Now, we drop down and get them. We have all these people here. We have law enforcement. We have State Guard, National Guard. They have no way to go get these people. Yesterday, when I was at the Asheville airport refueling, which, by the way, the civilian is paying all this out of his own pocket. He's not even looking for a reimbursement. I think we did 4 refuelings yesterday. And that was like just in half a day's work. We're in Asheville, and I saw 2 Air Force Helicopter 60s. And I knew they were PJs, just looking at them. And I went up to them, I'm like, hey guys, like, what are y'all doing? And like, this is what you need to be doing. This is how I'm finding people. And they're like, we can't go. We're waiting on Title 10 orders. And I'm like, what? They can't get any authority. There's military helicopters all over here sitting on the ground, and they can't do nothing. Even my JSOC boys in Fayetteville, they can't get orders to come out here. It is just the most disgusting thing, and they're killing these people. And I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know what kind of conspiracy. I've heard so many things, whatever you want to come up with, but they are literally allowing these people to fucking die in the mountains right now because we can't get helicopters. They got money for everything else in the fucking world right now, but if they could just get us helicopters, we could fly out there and rescue these people. So I hope this video goes viral. I hope these politicians get fired. I hope people get pissed off. They'll probably kick me out of the state of North Carolina for doing this, but you know what? I don't care, because if I can save one more life for it, it's fucking worth it to me.
That's an American hero right there for blowing the whistle on what's going on, the politics behind it. And if you can't get orders from the military, where do you think that comes from? I'm sorry, it comes from the commander-in-chief. And who's his right-hand lady? Kamala Harris. Again, this is Kamala's Katrina, and nobody's covering it. So you'd never know it's her Katrina. People stranded in the United States of America in this day and age, this should never, ever, ever be happening. You know what's amazing is Elon Musk tweeted out that he's bringing these Starlink units in. Joe Biden claims he's going to bring the Starlink units in. Joe Biden has some freaking gall to claim this.
I've also directed the development of Starlink, deployment of Starlink satellites. 50 are in place right now. More are going to be put in place so people in places like Canton can call for help and reach the ones that love ones who they're not sure with anybody other than that phone because there's no cell service.
So Starlink is an amazing system. Elon Musk that is the founder of that has all kinds of communication capabilities that you can get signals, internet, all these things out from these disaster zones. Do you know the federal government, led by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, canceled contracts with Starlink and grant money to Starlink? There would have been tens of thousands of these units in these areas if they wouldn't have canceled it. Why did they cancel it from Elon Musk? Why? Because, of course, he's showing signs of being a conservative. This is the vindictive nature of liberals, that they're so concerned about screwing a conservative that they'll screw the entire American population. Starlink should have already been there if Joe Biden and his henchmen and Kamala Harris hadn't tried to stick it to Elon Musk. Now they're begging for these Starlink units. Well, guess who brings them in? Ivanka Trump. Ivanka Trump brings a whole plane load full of Starlink units and other supplies. You think the media covers that? No. What if Hunter Biden had come down and brought supplies? Hunter Biden would be a American hero. Look at Joe Biden's son. But here's the reality. Hunter Biden's not doing that. He's probably smoking dope or sniffing coke, whatever, while people suffer. But Ivanka, she's coming down and trying to help. So this is where we are in society today. It's wrong. It is absolutely wrong that we are at this point. You have people like this guy trying to get people out.
And rescued a woman with a heart condition. We're heading on a wellness check. I've actually 4 missions I've lost track because we've done so many things today. But there's so much to do. There are so many heroes here. You should be proud of the men and women that are out here risking their life flying into the mountains.
I'm proud of them. I am. What I'm not proud is the government response. Here's a guy like Corey Mills, congressman, Republican, of course. This guy goes all over the world rescuing people. I'm not even sure he was a member of the military before. He looks like a military guy, that's for sure. But he's out there rescuing people left and right. He's doing what the federal government refuses to do. He's a sitting United States congressman, and he springs into action when we have National Guard members sitting on their butts. Not any fault of their own, but fault of the commander-in-chief who refuses to put them out there. Now, Joe Biden says he's activated 1,000 active duty National Guard members. Well, where are they? People are saying we're waiting.
Hey everyone, Congressman Corey Mills, 47th District. Quick update. We've earned the COSTA. We've got more supplies that's coming inbound. We're going to be delivering in Western North Carolina for day 3. This will be about 5 tons of supplies total. Everything from water to diapers to food to non-perishables. We're also bringing in 2 grade qualified combat medics that will come in, PJs, who will help with bringing in any of the medical supplies necessary, like we did yesterday with insulin, but also help with medevac and voice operations. So again, trying to get and fill the gap the federal government's continue to fall short. As soon as we get on the ground, it's got heavy fog right now, so it's kind of delaying any type of kilo operations. But we'll keep you updated as we get in there and as we continue to deliver and what we're doing with our daily recount. Appreciate all the support. Pray for North Carolina. God bless.
Say a prayer for all of those men and women that are putting their life on the line for people that are in desperate need right now. Again, the devastation is like nothing you have ever seen. I mean, look at this video. As people drive through these mountain towns that were some of the most gorgeous towns in the world, and there's video of literally houses floating by, the destruction, unimaginable. Looks like a war zone. Looks like a bomb went off. There are other areas where they're still underwater. There are other areas you can't get into with vehicles where people are clinging to trees. I heard of a older woman who died with her husband clinging to a tree. To a tree. Again, it's America. Nobody should have to die that way. Somebody else died in a storm drain. And this, again, is because they don't have helicopters. The federal government has plenty of helicopters to send. What is the delay, folks? We've got to get on this, and we've got to get on it now. I'm going to play for you a report of a gentleman who got stopped mid-rescue. Rescues a wife, the husband, and the pilot of the helicopter, son, was forced to be left behind in this disaster zone. I'm going to play this story for you here in just a moment, but I want to tell you about my friends over at energizedhealth.com/Grant. I always do this. I'm 55 years old. That, folks, is muscle that continues to grow, body fat that continues to shrink. After, it was 3-4 weeks, I lost about 15 pounds. I've steadied out because I don't want to lose anymore. But I am now hydrated at what they call the cellular level, thanks to Energized Health program. It's 88 days. I'm now in the 60 days worth, and I feel like I have never felt before. At 55 years old, I've got more energy. And here's the crazy thing. My testosterone is up. I didn't even know this would be a side effect of it. And I'm not just telling you that I feel it. I've been measuring this. So amazing result for Energized Health. Again, getting stronger while losing weight and that inner fat, that visceral fat, going away, folks. EnergizedHealth.com/Grant. I want you to go there. They've got recipes. They've got daily videos. There's personal coaching involved in this. This is a plan that is backed by science. They have decades of research behind it. 99.9% success rate, money back guarantee. You've got nothing to lose. I am so happy that I did the Energized Health program. So I urge you, just go there, check it out. If you want to lose 200, 400, 600 pounds, Energized Health can help you. If you're like me, you want to lose 15, 20 pounds, tighten it up and look great, this is for you. It's about getting healthy at the mind, body, soul level. EnergizedHealth.com/Grant. EnergizedHealth.com/Grant. Find out about cellular hydration and why this thing works. I urge you to go there, pay them a visit today. All right, so I told you I'd play you this news story of a rescue effort that was thwarted. To me, this is just nothing short of outrageous.
Low cloud coverage is Lake Lure.
The cries for help from people stranded without food, water, or electricity hit social media soon after the flooding last Friday.
But my parents are stuck there. Their address is Banner Elk. They are in the first condo. If you receive this, please give me a call back. Thank you.
Sidham's phone started lighting up on Saturday with people begging for help.
I could hear the desperation in her voice. This is multiple phone calls I've received like this, voicemails, text messages, and you could hear people desperate for help.
Sidham and his son rescued 4 people on Saturday and spent the night in a nearby pilot's lounge, then decided to fly again Sunday morning.
I spoke with my son, which is my co-pilot. I said, hey, do you want to go back out and try to help today? And his response was, there's so many messages, I don't think we can't not go help.
Sidham and his son were headed up to Black Mountain. Flight tracking shows no flight restrictions in place Saturday or Sunday morning when Sidham flew through the Lake Lure Gap. But that was all about to change. The Sidham spotted an older couple waving for help, then landed in what's left of their driveway.
Hey, I want you to let me get in. You step out and go out, help her in, put her bag in the back, get her strapped in. I'm going to take her down, come back. I'll take him, I'll come back, and then I'll get you, okay?
I originally left my son, co-pilot, on the side of the mountain. It was kind of unstable, so I didn't want to put more weight in the helicopter.
So, first off, you see what's going on here? This is a private citizen with his own helicopter, filling it up with his own gas, that's flying up into the mountains, finds an old couple, and he leaves his son behind with the husband, takes the woman, right? Ladies first, 100% needs to happen. But you're putting your entire family in danger, right? Now, you see that it doesn't look like you're in active danger, but still, you don't think you're going to have your son be stranded up there because emergency responders are going to tell you you can't go back and get your son and the older husband? That's what's about to happen here. And again, I blame this on bureaucracy. I blame this on deep state politics that go all the way down to a local level and don't think bureaucracy isn't real. It very much is. I blame this on egos that go all the way to the top, to the Biden-Harris ticket.
Lift back off, so I left my son with the other victim, and I was just going to take one person down at the time. And you could hear me in the video talking through with the victims and with my son what we're going to do.
3 minutes away, Sidham spotted a group of rescuers just down the river. He landed and found someone in charge.
Told him my background experience, law enforcement, firefighting, pilot. He immediately started helping with coordination. He gave me radio frequencies to coordinate with them on, set up a landing area for me to come back with the other victim. And in the middle of the whole conversation and then blocking the road off, I was greeted by the, at that time I didn't know, but Lake Lure fire chief or assistant chief maybe, and he shut down the whole operation. So at that point I felt like the conversation wasn't going any further. And again, he asked me to leave and I said, hey, I have no problem getting out of your area. If that's what you want us to do, we'll leave, no issue. At that point, I asked him, what was the reason I had to leave them there? And he said, again, you're interfering with my operation. I just need you to get out of the area. I said, sir, I don't know where you were trained at, but I know how my training is, and I'm not going to leave personnel behind. I'm going back to get my co-pilot. He said, if you turn around and go back up the mountain, you're going to be arrested. I said, well, sir, I'm going back to get my co-pilot. I don't know what to tell you. And he said, I'm letting you know. And at that point, he waved for 2 law enforcement officers to come over and told me that again, if I go back up the mountain, I would be arrested.
He flew the 3-minute trip back, picked up his son, and left the woman's husband behind.
I'm sure he was flooded with emotions and trying to rescue other people, and I just felt that it was best at the time to leave. So I did follow his instructions, and I had a conversation with the female victim before I left, apologized and explained, and she was standing there. She heard the whole conversation, and they were both very, very surprised, very upset. The husband.
Folks, he had to leave the old man behind because he rescued his son. This doesn't make any sense. Why would you, if you're a fire chief, why would you not say, thank you? We needed helicopters. Go get that man. We'll be here for you. We'll get him to the hospital. We'll get him the care he needs. Go get that man. In what world do you live in that your ego gets in such the way that you're going to say, you know what, you're in the way of my rescue efforts, get out of here, and let people suffer? I promise you, he's got to be a liberal. No conservative I know would ever act that way. I mean it.
As I was leaving off of the side of the mountain, at that point, separated from his wife, he was upset. I can only imagine.
Sidham and his nearly 1,400 flight hours turned his chopper around and headed back to South Carolina, passing people waving for help along the way.
As I was actually leaving to go back to get my son, the original chief or captain that I spoke to, his crew and himself, they came back over and said, hey, man, we can't tell you to go get the victim. We can't even ask you to go get the victim, but we can tell you if you come back with the victim, we'll have you a designated landing spot, and they won't. We'll make sure they don't come over here.
So there was no flight restriction when you went in?
No flight restriction when I went in. It went in place 20 or 30 minutes after the confrontation with Mr.
So somebody had some common sense here. It said, hey, we're not going to disrespect the orders of this guy, but we'll be ready and waiting here for you if you go get him. Somebody with some common sense, thankfully. But not a lot. And again, we're spending, oh my Lord, how much money have we spent in Ukraine? $200 billion, probably close to $200 billion. How much money have we spent on illegal aliens? Secretary Mayorkas now says FEMA is out of money because we've spent money on credit cards and hotel rooms and food and health care for illegal aliens that have snuck across the border into our country, and we do more for them than we do for victims of a natural disaster in this country. We do more for illegal aliens than we do for our homeless veterans in this country that we owe a debt of gratitude to. But this is only under the Harris-Biden administration. It's it. This would not be happening under President Trump. President Trump would motivate, activate, and articulate exactly what needs to happen and get it done very quickly. All right, it is about speed. Speed is everything when it comes to saving lives. Speed of delivery when it comes to prescription medications, right? Speed of delivery when it comes to getting in a good guy with a gun against a bad guy with a gun. Speed when it comes to rescuing flood victims. So it's about time that this administration does something to turn it all around. Here's an organization that is doing amazing. Organization. Again, and this aerial rescue nonprofit. I want to try to get some of these people on the Real America's Voice show tonight because these people are real American heroes. In many respects, it restores my faith in humanity, restores my faith in America when I see this unfold. People at the worst parts of their life being rescued by people that are willing to risk their lives for a stranger. And these are not paid first responders. They're volunteer first responders. I love the story and the fact that it shows you the greatness and exceptionalism of America. I hate the story that we have to even talk about it. And we're talking about it because of a failure of leadership at a federal level. And sadly, I think maybe even a state and local levels, as we've been describing here as we go through much of this. Folks, let me tell you about my friends over at Patriot Mobile. You know, I'm so proud of my Patriot Mobile phone. I'm proud to be associated with this group. They are taking back America one call at a time. You know, every time you make a phone call with your Patriot Mobile phone, a portion of that money is going back to help conservative causes, right to life causes. I know they support so many of these gun rights organizations that I just absolutely love. They are on the ground for our veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. This is one reason why I want you to be with them, because where you spend your money says a lot about where you want this country to go. So here's what I would say. Go to patriotmobile.com/grant. You get a free first month's service. patriotmobile.com/grant. 972-PATRIOT is the number to call, 972-PATRIOT. And when you call them, tell them Grant Stinchfield sent you. Use the promo code GRANT for that free activation, and you are going to be so happy that you did. And so patriotmobile.com/grant, 972-PATRIOT. You make sure you tell them I sent you. All right. So how bad is it in some of these stores? I want you to check this out. This is a Walmart on Airport Road in Asheville, North Carolina. This is why I say, folks, be prepared. Be ready. You've got to have prescription medications. I tell you about the wellness company, right? This is an on-the-fly ad, the wellness company, twc.health/grant. Prescription medications, I promise you, people in Asheville, North Carolina, wish they had one of these, okay? twc.health/grant. Promo code GRANT with all these prescription medications in here. But this is why they need it. Just watch carefully. Everything's empty.
Well, we didn't make it for the milk.
No milk. No eggs.
Wednesday,
Nothing.
October 2nd. Gone. More empty aisles.
It's amazing, folks. Now, what would you do if you didn't have food and water at home? Ammunition, too. Man, that's crazy. That's a Walmart that is cleaned out.
Showers outside of Walmart on Airport Road.
At least they got showers out there for people. Again, communities coming together, but this is rough. And again, the mainstream media not covering it. Why? Because they're covering for Kamala Harris. If this was Donald Trump, they would be telling you right now he's the worst president in American history. That would be the message. Look at him, left all these people hung out to dry. But that's not what they're telling us about Kamala. They're not telling us anything. Unbelievable. Here's competition on Rumble. Says people that are trying to help are being threatened with arrest now. Many bringing supplies are being turned around, but supplies taken and locked up. I'm truly distrustful, but they claim them. Yes, we played a clip earlier in the podcast of just that, of a man being told he's going to be arrested if he continues to rescue American citizens. How in the world do you turn people around facing a disaster like this? How in the world do you ignore a disaster like this if you're at a leadership level like the president or vice president of the United States? How in the world does our military not have orders to go in with Black Hawk helicopters and other helicopters to rescue people that can only be rescued with helicopters? Only in Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's America does something like this happen. Don't ever forget that. This could be your town next. This could be your state next, your city next. It could be your loved ones that are stranded. Do you want Kamala Harris in the White House after this? Media, mainstream media, fake news media, start covering this. Be honest about what's happening in these red states that are being ignored by leftists in charge of the federal government. I'm steaming mad at this, and I'm not giving up on this story. We are going to be covering this on the Real America's Voice show tonight, I promise you, and we are not or ever going to give up. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us today. I so appreciate you watching. Stinchfield 1776 is, of course, the place to find me on just about all the social media outlets. Real America's Voice show tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And don't forget about these people. Say a prayer for them and the people that are going in to help them. All right? That's what I want you to do. God bless all of you. Stinchfield's Army rolls. I appreciate you watching today. See you tomorrow morning.